Okay, so I'm on site at Jack Madden Ford. We're in the conference room. We're on lunch break, and we are with.
Eva Kraus.
Okay, Eva, real quick, tell us about your automotive background.
Well, I started out about 21 years ago in the out in Denver selling cars. Had the quick study training program, stand on the line, go say hi to somebody, and if you're lucky enough to get somebody to sit down, give us a buzz. Moved into finance over time and then decided to make the leap to the auto finance company. So I went in as a credit analyst, became an over-the-road sales manager, signing up dealerships for a couple of different lenders. Became a center manager, then a regional vice president, then eventually a senior vice president at I ran half of a $2 billion auto finance company.
So you know what you're doing.
I'd like to think so. Or
All
at
right,
least
good.
have some idea.
All right, so
So then from there, when the recession hit and everything else went on, I had to restart my career. And one of the great things I learned in the car business is that if you can sell cars, you will never starve. So eventually I went back to selling cars in a couple of different dealerships, had the opportunity to use my background, do some special finance work, and eventually made my way to a sales manager's position, basically as a desk manager, working deals and working with other salespeople.
okay, so I was asking you before this interview for AutomotiveInternetSales.com what your favorite part is of your job in the automotive sector, and you said, desking deals, working the desk, the negotiations, and making the money. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, I love. There's two parts I love to it. I love moving the numbers around, just almost like putting together a puzzle. The other part I like is actually coming off the desk, sitting with the customer, working with the customer, and kind of moving them in the right direction. And I guess that point that you get to where you look in someone's eyes and you actually see them buying, you actually see it happening at the time. I learned a long time ago that there's two parts to the sale. One of the things you learn with whatever sales program you're in, whether it's the 8 steps, the 10 steps of selling, whatever the heck it is. But the other part of the business, and anybody can ultimately learn that process, the other part of the business that I think is the more amazing part is the psychological part of the business. The first step being the science, the second part being the psychological, and it's being able to look into someone's eyes and see, as I always like to say, see more than the back of their skull. It's actually looking there and see their soul and watch them, watch their body movements, watch their facial movements, watch the nuances in their eyes, and actually see them tip and agree and reach out and shake hands and actually say yes. And that's the energy, the excitement, the engagement, as somebody who once told me, the mental chess.
Mental chess, I like that. My question is for sales managers watching this, and especially salespeople watching this, what would you suggest, or what would you offer as some advice on how to max gross? Because there's a lot of times salespeople go to the desk, they don't even have a commitment, or it's a weak commitment, or they work against the desk. They try to go to the desk and say, oh, can we save them some money? Could do this. What advice do you have to max gross and max opportunity for the dealership?
No, you're right, Sean. One of the things I find is that you're negotiating with two parties. You're negotiating with the customer. You're negotiating with your salesperson. The first thing is convincing your salesperson that you don't get what you don't ask for. And number one is asking for it. Is that the worst that's going to happen, they're going to say no. We talked earlier about landing people on the right vehicle. That's the key to everything. I liken it to tailoring a suit. The more time, and I learned the business the old way, the inverted pyramid. If you spend a lot of time on the lot picking out the vehicle, tailoring the suit to their needs, then the pricing and close becomes very easy, and that goes to value building and making sure that they've got their needs met exactly. Once you've done that, the rest actually becomes pretty easy. You earn the right to ask for all the money. When people go, what's your best price? Well, my best price is the one on the window. It's the sticker. It's the one I make the most money on. And you can't be embarrassed by that price that's been put on there. There's a reason it's put on there. And so when I work with the salespeople, and the ones that really are successful are the ones that are not embarrassed to ask for the money, that have spent the time with the customer, both on a personal and on a personal level, getting to know each other. I think it's 72% buy from who they like and trust. Well, it's getting them first to like you and trust you, then tailoring that suit. Once you've completed those couple of components, you've now earned the right to ask for the price. The worst that happens is they're not going to say no. there are three types of customers: some that will pay all the money, some that will pay none of the money, and some that will go in between. But they don't become the third that will pay all the money if you don't ask them to pay all the money. And so I think it's just, for a salesperson, for a desk manager, getting the salesperson to believe in you that we're going to make a deal here, we're going to earn the right to ask for all of the money, and if not, we'll work a deal that's somewhere in between that becomes mutually suitable between them and the customer.
I think that's absolutely awesome.